For the Marin Council of Chambers, I'm Stephanie Plant, and this is We Are One Marin. What do a pickup truck, a Valentine's Day dance, and an auto body shop have in common? You'll have to meet the Llamas family to find out. And what's funny is everyone in their auto body business has a different answer. But whatever the family stories are, one thing they all agree on is how the parts fit together, at home and at work. It starts with a strong foundation. Join us for a conversation with a father-daughter duo whose Novato business, Carroceria Collision, needs no repair, as we continue to navigate how Marin works. So tell me about the business name.
So actually, my mom is the one who founded the name. So we were, hunting down for names, and it took us a while just because we wanted to obviously put the car name out there, to make it obvious it was a body shop, but then also we're Mexican, so we wanted to make something that, related to our background. So yeah, she found Carroceria, but I think it was spelled in Italian, so it was with Z's, but we changed it to C's to make it, from Mexico, so Mexico shops have it.
Yeah, so in Spanish, carroceria means like the frame of the car.
Like carriage.
Yeah, that's what it means. And in Italian, carroceria means a body shop.
Oh.
But it spells different.
Okay, so my ninth grade Latin comes in a tiny bit there.
Yeah.
I got to carriage from Carroceria. Yeah. So speaking of names, I am here with Elizabeth and Jorge Llamas, owners of Carroceria Collision in Novato. And it's a family business.
Yes.
Probably we should just start there. Tell us about family business for you all.
I grew up in Guadalajara, so I came to the States when I was 16 years old. And then I started in a body shop business in Guadalajara. My neighbors had a body shop. So my two older brothers are painters, so I got, every summer, I spent the summer on the body shop, 2 months for 4 years. And I started going when I was 7 years old. So then, I went to high school over there, and then I came to when I was 16. And then I started working in the body shops, and my first body shop that I worked, they were doing upholstery and body shop. It was a combination shop. And then I moved to San Rafael, work for a number of body shops here. So I've been in the business for 30 years. Worked for a lot of the big companies here in Marin. And then 2004, we had an opportunity. A friend of mine told me about a shop that it was for sale, right behind the shopping center. What's it called?
Marin Square.
Marin Square.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So we bought the shop in 2004. So we run the business, and it was called Prestige Auto Body. And then we sold it in 2010. And then I started working for Barsatis, another body shop in town. I worked there for a few years, and I had this customer that I met through a friend that he had a big collection of classics. So I restored many of his cars through the years. And we had a relationship outside my work. I work on the weekends and after work. And he offered me to come and work for him, because he was on a hotel business, and he wanted to open his own body shop. He had so many cars. So he bought the shop, and he called me and he convinced me because we had a good relationship. So I left my shop, my work, and I started working for him in 2016. And then he, things went wrong. He closed his business, and the building was available. So I talked to the owner, and we started a new lease, and that's how we started our body shop.
Great. That is so great. And Elizabeth, I'm sure you didn't start working at the shop when you were in diapers or anything.
No,
right?
But almost.
You did start while you were.
She was
in
out of
school.
I mean, yeah, I was in elementary when they had their shop. So before school, after school, I was there with both my parents. So I mean, I just grew love for the industry at a very young age. So I'm very blessed to have been exposed at that age. I don't think the industry has that much exposure like if I weren't raised in it. So, you know, I don't know what I would be into if it wasn't for the body shop, you know, if I didn't have it when I was so young. But yeah, I kind of went from there. You know, I've always been interested in cars. You know, not only did I love being in the shop, but I loved, you know, going with my dad to car shows. Always been, you know, like little car girl. So my love just kept like growing and growing from there. So, you know, right in high school, I kind of just like wanted to leave school. I just wanted to continue, you know, I just wanted to work. And then my mom was like, no, like, you're not going to go straight to work. You're going to go to college, like, do something, you know, just one certificate for me is enough for me. Just, I need you to, like, you know, continue school after high school. It's really important. So I listened, I obeyed, and I was like, okay, I'll do school, but I'm going to do something I like, which I studied automotive. So I did automotive collision and got my estimating certificate. I was only there for about 2 years just because in high school when I was a senior, after school, I would go to college, like community college, and I would take courses after school.
So you did high school and like junior college
Yeah.
at the same time?
Yeah, just because I was bored and I knew what I liked.
You should see Dad's smiling face. I don't
Yeah.
think our listeners can't see, but it's my job to share.
Proud.
Yeah.
Very proud. Are you the oldest? And you have
Yes.
one sister?
20,
One sister and then one little brother.
6 years. 7 is going to be this
He's
month.
going to be 7 this month, yes. Huge age gap.
I think Kalina
know.
mentioned that when she pre-interviewed you on the phone. So
Yeah.
you and your wife have 3 kids over
26 years.
So my sister and I are 5 years
5 years
apart,
apart.
and then my sister and brother are 13 years apart.
Just thought you would start over?
I was want to have more kids, but
You were busy working.
Yeah.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this whole life trajectory started with a pickup truck and a little bit of a love story. Is that right?
Yes.
We're very excited for a love story on our podcast.
So yeah, so Dad, you want to tell him about the reason why you came to USA in the first place?
yes, I forgot about it.
He's looking at me like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Uh-oh, did I miss my wedding anniversary?
No, because what happened when I was there, you know, I started working when I was a little kid, so I always I like to have money in my pocket. I don't have to depend on my parents, my brother, my older brothers, because I'm the number 5. I got 4 older brothers. Wow. And I have a sister 1 year younger than me.
So 6 of you total.
Yeah, total.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say at age of 10, I already have money in my pocket. You know, a little bit, enough to not depend on my dad to buy me shoes, or because I already going to the body shop. And then I stopped the body shop because I met some of my friends in school. They were working on I don't know what they call, like a farmer's market.
Yeah.
Almost. And you know, we were really close, and I started working with them, and I like because you make money so fast.
Cash.
It was cash. You had a lot of money. So I started working for this guy. I think I started working for him when I was 14 years old, and then he had a lot of trust with me, and he went to a vacation, but he gave me money to buy everything that I need. And he told me, you just find a truck because you're not big enough to have a driving license. I'm not going to let you borrow my truck.
So go find your own?
Find your truck. And then I give you the money to start buying whatever you need to start the week. So a friend of mine had a truck, so I asked him. He helped me with the truck. So by the end of the week, my boss came back from vacation. I give him his money, and I would say probably about $3,000 left.
Wow.
Wow.
So it was a big, huge gap. You know, my older brothers didn't make as much as I was making. And I needed a truck, and so I called my brother. He was already here living. He lived in Richmond. I said, well, I'm just going to go. I told my mom, I'm just going to go save some money to buy a truck that I need and I come back, because I hear stories that, you know, it's not easy to be here. And I already have a business going over there, and I make good money. I just need the truck. So that's where that came, and I never went back.
And why is that you never went back?
Well,
You found a truck?
find a truck.
And
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 then I met
there
my
was
wife.
this lovely lady in the
Yeah.
passenger seat, or what?
he found a truck and a wife.
Yeah. You know, I met my wife like 4 years after I came to the States, and
So you didn't meet her on that first trip for the truck.
no, I like 4 years later.
But what kept you here
I wanted to prove probably my friends, my parents that I made it. That I didn't feel like just saving enough money for the truck and come back. And I started liking it little by little.
And how did you meet your wife?
I think it was a Valentine's.
It gets
They
more
dance, yeah.
romantic. The more I can tease out of him.
And we just live like 3 blocks away from the hall where we met. Right now.
But then there's something else about this story that's interesting, right? Aren't you from the same town in Mexico?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's nice I'm reminding you of your
Yes.
story.
Your
Maybe I should be asking
Elizabeth
Elizabeth.
did a great job.
Elizabeth knows this story really well.
Yeah, my mom tells it really well.
And what's her name?
Luz. L-U-Z.
That's a pretty name. Yeah. And what got your mom, Elizabeth, to the States?
Oh, so
I'm not going to ask your dad. He's fuzzy on the details.
Yeah, that's
Maybe Elizabeth can tell our story.
she came when she was about 4. And yeah, they just, same as a lot of people, they just came here for a better life. And thankfully, my mom, even though she had me at 17, she was still able to graduate her year.
Wow.
16, 17, yeah. It was a couple of years ago. I'm not too sure exactly. I don't recall the year, but she did graduate from college in Marin for accounting.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was going to ask if you were the first to attend college, but your mom did it too.
Yeah, my mom did it too.
After you or before?
I think she had done it after me, because I think I got my certificate what year was it? I think it was like 2017.
So you were kind of the first.
Yeah, kind of the first. Yeah, but she had attended some college before, but she finished it. Yeah.
Elizabeth, can we hear your mom's version of the story?
Yes. So she had said that they met at the Valentine's Day dance. They had told her no, he's trouble. He's, he just cares about his cars. He's not going to pay attention to you. And you're little.
That paid the bills later.
Yeah, exactly. It was just that their love story. They fell in love. They had me. And considering the circumstances back then, my dad did a really great job of taking care of her. My mom was living at home, a Mexican household. You get pregnant, you leave. You go with your husband, your boyfriend, and my dad he had everything figured out the next day. So that's really admirable considering they were so young. In a way, a little naive, not having the guidance. Everything is just figured out on your own. But I think, what's helped them is just that they're really good people. And I think that's why, I guess you go through certain things in life, but it always kind of gives back.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like, God has taken care of them so well. Who would have known so many years, we'd have this opportunity. And, it is hard working with your family, but we're very blessed. We're a very good and close family. And that's what they've made.
Wow, you're young to have that, to be that grateful and to be so grounded. You must have really good parents.
Thank you. No,
See, the mom.
It's the mom.
Yeah.
At least he's smart enough to know where to give the credit.
My wife's so sweet.
No, but honestly, seeing them so, hardworking in the shop and seeing how they've struggled for us, for them, it's very not only admirable, but I think it's helped my sister and I just have so much consideration for that. I think that's one thing that we're trying have my brother grow up with too. You're so lucky. Remember, you're so lucky. You're very blessed. So how can you be a blessing to others?
Have you been able to give back in a way with your business?
Community involvement is actually really important to me. I entered the Novato chamber about a year ago, and I've been able to connect with many, many wonderful people, that just really want to help each other, whether that's business or personal. I'm still learning a lot about everything having to do with network. I'm really opening the doors for myself because, we have this business where I'm not only, working in a shop, but I'm able to build something, to be a service, not only for, cars and repair, but service to others, service to community.
Very fun fact, our very first podcast episode, Jaime Perez invited Elizabeth and I to a BNI group.
Oh, yeah.
And we met on Zoom.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Zoom.
Yeah.
We are happy to be sitting in person.
Oh, my God, yes.
With the two of you, frankly, the four of us all sitting here in person. I think the chambers provide such great connections for businesses, businesses to get out in the community. Also, though, this podcast was started because there was some communication, I think, gap between business owners and the community, where we have a population that is lacking in diversity, right? We're 85% white. I wonder how you have found Marin for doing business. I mean, obviously you came here and you stayed, right?
Yes.
So good things have come out of your move here, it sounds like. But I just, from a business perspective, you've been in San Rafael and Novato. How has that been for you?
I think it's been easy because the last 30 years that I've been working, I met a lot of people, a lot of business owners. They own dealerships now. I'm friends with Marin Mazda. I met them 30 years ago. So they always refer people to me. Not necessarily we work for Hispanic people only.
Sure.
But anything that comes, but I would say 90% of our customers are, they're not Hispanic.
But you found a connection through the cars, right?
Yes,
the
through the
referrals,
cars.
the work, every
Correct.
car has four wheels and a carroceria, right?
Yes,
A carriage.
Carroceria. Someone said
Thank you.
carniceria. Someone said that.
But and I would imagine it's fair to say, especially 30 years ago, mostly men in the business, right?
Yes.
So how's it been for you, Elizabeth, as a woman? I'm sure there aren't that many women.
No, but you'd be surprised how many there actually are.
I'm glad to hear that.
I've never felt that intimidated going into the industry, and probably because I was, like I said, I was in it very young, so it never really crossed my mind like, oh, it's a male-dominated industry until I probably started working. That's when I really realized it, because not even in school did I realize it. But no, I've actually been very lucky to be surrounded by really good people who want to help you, and they don't see you as a little girl. They see you, as a respectable young person learning their trade. There was one time, and it's really, really funny. So I was actually working in the shop in San Francisco, and you would think that it's the men who want to intimidate you and, pin you down. But no, it was this lady who was like, oh, yeah, like I want to get an estimate. And I was like, sure, let's go take a look at your vehicle. And she was like, no, I want a man. Yeah, she had said no to me and wanted a man. And I'm like, you're a woman.
Yeah.
Like, you should not. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That's crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah. But, that doesn't bother me. I think those people, I guess they're just uneducated, and it's not my job to educate anyone. If they, if they want my help, great. And I'm happy to, teach someone about how women can also do it.
All the things we can do.
Yeah, but she didn't come in for that. She came in for an estimate, and if she didn't want it from me, then that's totally fine. Yeah.
Right. And I guess you teach by example, right?
Yeah.
And do you have a favorite car?
I actually have a 2017 Silverado single cab, and that's actually been my project truck. So I've done a lot of work myself on it, taking it apart, repairing stuff.
That's
and
a
with
Chevy,
my dad's
right?
help. Yeah,
Chevy Silverado.
Yeah.
Not bad, right?
I was like, I don't know.
And Jorge, what about you?
I like all cars, low-rider cars. I restore many cars through my years. And actually, we built a car in 2006, 1948 Chevy. And, we completely did everything, frame off. And my wife knew that I like this particular magazine. It's called Lowrider Magazine. It's very famous. And to be in the magazine, your car has to be very, very good. It's not just any car goes in the magazine. So, my wife knew that it was my dream to build a car and have it on the magazine. I didn't know, but my wife called the editor, the main guy from the magazine. And it was a surprise to me. Ellie was how old are you?
I don't know.
So my
9.
two daughters that were there and my wife in the car, they came down and they took pictures and they put it in a magazine.
You were in the magazine?
Yeah.
too?
Yeah.
What color is this car?
It's like orange.
Really pretty.
Very pretty.
Very. Yeah. So it's time for a new project.
Okay. So estimating. Let's talk about that a little bit. I assume the business has really changed over the years, not only estimating the repair, but doing it, right?
Yes.
Cars have gotten a
Yes.
little sophisticated.
No,
Yes.
for sure. From what I remember, my mom had, like a, what was it? Like a pad, and she would write down the hours manually.
The first shop that we had, we do it manually most of the time.
Meaning
And there
you
was-
tracked everything
It's
on
just
paper.
on paper, and there's books that give you the times,
The
for
times.
whatever the repair was. or
Oh,
whatever.
you had to log, like I spent 15 minutes on the engine and 20 minutes
Yes.
on the
Yeah, something like
tires. I'm sorry. That's about
Yes.
I'm getting it.
That's
We're
fine.
capped at the knowledge.
That's about it. I know how to drive it. Brakes. I know that you have brakes and they need fluid.
We're not proving Elizabeth's point very well.
Well, we have other skill sets. Yes. We have the ongoing conversation about paper around this office.
Yes, we do. We're in a constant struggle.
You can see I
battle.
have paper in front of me right now. I can prove it by thumbing through it. I love paper and pen. I'm like your mom. I don't want to let it go.
Yeah.
Kalina.
The other day she came, she's like, oh, could you take this note for me or write this down for me? And I said, sure. And I pulled up the sticky note on the computer. She said, no, write it down. And I was like, oh, okay.
I want to be able to see it too without like
share it.
busting into your computer and putting in your password. Just
Yeah.
like on the desk, on the actual
Did
desk.
not occur to me. So logging manual paper hours, that
Yes.
sounds like my nightmare.
Yeah, no. Thank
Sounds
God
perfect
they
to me.
Yeah. Thank God the industry has changed.
So you've evolved obviously with
yeah.
book tracking. Is
Yeah, we have a
Right.
software now.
So, what is something that people don't maybe know about what goes into estimating the cost of a repair? Like, I come and my car, whatever, I had a car accident, it has to be fixed. It's going to take longer than I think. It's going to cost more than I think. And I'm going to be out of a car. So,
Yeah.
often I would imagine somebody's coming to you annoyed.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a huge inconvenience.
And how
for
do you
sure.
manage that? How do you manage that?
Well, first, before, we get into like the whole like repair, I think it's just like the connection, letting people know that, I'm going to fix your car the right way, but, trust me. Like I want to do what's best not only for the car, but for you too, for you to have a good experience. You're already in an uncomfortable situation. It's not good to be out of your car, into a car, a rental, if you can get one. So I think the experience for me is like one thing that I keep, in mind the most when, I have a customer coming to me. And then of course, like I love, printing out the estimates and not only telling them, okay, here's a dollar amount, but I like to explain to my customers what exactly we're doing. Because what goes into painting a bumper really. So it's a lot of educating. And I love that though, because when they're educated, they feel safe.
Well, I think that helps for me anyway. I mean, I wouldn't have known about the many layers of what's behind the bumper either. And when you understand that, it makes it so much easier to understand the cost.
Yeah.
And human labor is valuable. And so then suddenly the bill makes more sense.
Yeah. I don't think I can ever express how much material cost has gone up the roof.
Well, and,
Yeah.
and availability, right?
Yes,
Yes.
that too. Also, I think fixing the car correctly and fast as we can for the customer, I think is the best thing that we can do. And we don't schedule the car until we have everything that we're gonna need to repair. So that, makes the repair shorter days,
Like the cycle
the
time.
cycle time.
Right. So I could keep my car until
Yeah.
all the parts are there, and then you'll take it.
If
Yeah.
it's safe.
If it's drivable.
Yeah,
It's
if it's safe,
drivable,
uh-huh.
yeah.
So you actually work in the shop every day too,
Yes.
Jorge?
Yes.
And you're repairing cars?
I do the repairs and most of the time painting. I do the painting.
And what about your mom, Elizabeth?
Yeah, she does the accounting. She does the accounting for us.
And your little sister?
So she's actually part-time. She's going to school. So she is actually wanting to become a teacher.
Oh.
So she doesn't, I don't think she's going to be there for,
all right.
For
That's all
long.
right.
But she loves it. She loves being with us. She's a great help. But yeah, she's doing part-time school, part-time, the shop. And then we'll see what George decides to do, our little brother.
Is he junior?
Yes, he's junior. Yeah, he's junior.
That's nice. That's why you had a third kid.
Yeah.
That was my wife's idea. I didn't want to have
Oh, really? I'm supposed to
no, the
learn
name,
that.
the name.
The name. But having a son.
No, I wanted to have a son.
Yes.
No, my dad actually wrote it down. Like, I think they were making like a list of things they needed to, accomplish
The year.
a certain year and all that stuff. And
Goals.
then I think,
Yes.
goals, I guess. Yeah, goals for sure. And
I
then
still have the book.
my dad wrote like, what did you write? Like, have a baby or have a boy
Elizabeth's
or something
like,
like that. And I was like, okay. Well, I'm like, good luck with that.
I wanted to have more kids, and we only had two. And it was this period when we owned our own shop, the first shop. You know, we always worked. We never had
Time.
I always wanted it, but she was helping me, so it was kind of impossible to have another kid. And I said, you know, we got to make time, you know, whatever it's going to take.
Yeah.
Any other goals you want to tell us about?
No, I think it just, I want to focus on the shop,
Yeah.
build a good business where, you know, in the future my kids can take care of it and they have, you know, they don't have to struggle, you know, going from job to job, or just want to build a good business, you know, for them. And that's my goal.
You know, as far as goals, I think it's just really growing personally, growing the business, connecting with others, you know, contributing to like I said, the community is really, really important for me. And I want to make sure that I get to do that.
Wow. It sounds like you have a great foundation.
Thank
Yes.
you.
That
Yes.
carroceria, that carriage of your family seems to provide a really strong foundation. And it's a pleasure to learn a little bit more about both
Thank
of you, your family, and your business. I hope next time I get to meet Luz.
Yes.
I want to meet the core of
Yes.
I want to meet the engine of this family now.
She is. She really is.
Yeah.
Thanks for spending time with us.
No, thank you for having
you.
us. Thank you.
All right. Thank you
you.
very
Thank
much.
you.
You can find Carroceria Collision at carroceriacollision.com or by calling them at 415-842-7118. If you'd like to reach us, send an email to weareonemarinpodcast@gmail.com. We welcome your input. The Marin Community Foundation generously sponsors this podcast. Our theme music is performed by a student at Enriching Lives Through Music. Llamas in San Rafael's Canal neighborhood. Finally, a reminder to support diverse local businesses and shop Marin.